My guest is Tony Njigua. He is the founder and guiding light of an organization called Foodies Without Borders. Tony, show them your t-shirt, your
right
sweatshirt there. Yeah. Tony hails from Kenya. He is a trained chef. He's done a lot of different things, and he has really brought his love of cooking into a whole other space. And I just want to invite you to just lay out for us what it is that you're doing, and then we're going to go back and kind of unpack the problem that got you going.
Thank you very much, Judy, for having me here in Cambridge.
You're welcome.
And I'm looking forward to let people know what we do.
Good.
So basically, Foodies Without Borders is a nonprofit that is registered right here in Massachusetts, but our projects are in Kenya. I'm originally from Kenya, but I've been here for 20 years. So what Foodies Without Borders does, we help young men and women in Kenya, a particular Kenyan coast, the communities that are in at the Kenyan coast, and we help with job training.
Yes,
through culinary and sustainable farming training. So we try and do our research and give skills to the best way we know through our experience. We give the young men and women experience, of culinary and sustainable farming, and the main goal is to have them acquire these skills and are able to join the workforce in Kenya.
Right, and you were telling me that in Kenya there's always been an unemployment situation that's pretty fierce, but on the coast you were saying it's this incredibly beautiful coast.
Yes.
And the development there. Well, tell us about what this problem is of this overdevelopment or like exciting development, but the result of it.
Yes, so as I say, it's a beautiful area, popular with tourists, both domestic and local. But the local people, mostly underrepresented in the workforce due to lack of proper education. Also, there is lack of basic needs, from sanitation to water. Everything costs money, and there's no employment. So what we're trying to do is help, training, these young men and women who are, basically the future, and kind of veer them off any social problems that might arise. Especially there's a high it's very rampant with prostitution there.
Prostitution.
Yeah, it's huge in the coast, and just because people have no alternative sometimes.
Yeah.
But with that, there's also other social problems that are starting to prop up, from drug addiction to also petty crime into organized crime, and that's not good for business.
Yeah.
And we've partnered with some people who have seen the problem, and they want us to support us in our endeavor, and they're willing to be partners so that they can absorb these young men and women to join the workforce. And in some cases, the partners who are hotels, they end up hiring them.
So Tony went back on a vacation. He saw this haves and have-not breakdown and said, got to do something, got to find something inside me that I can do to bring out and give people a ladder up, a pathway forward. And there you were, a chef, and you said, how about culinary skills? How about, and you knew people in the hotels, and you knew that these were going concerns and these were good jobs.
Yes, it was just natural that, the coastal Kenya, there's so many hotels. So working as a chef, that's what I did. So I wanted to give back by, sharing my skills and my connections with these underprivileged young men and women who, in true essence, it could be me.
Right.
So I wanted just to make a difference. So we know that hotel jobs in Kenya are good jobs. But getting them is also difficult, especially without skills. So our way of going around, not going to culinary school, which is very expensive,
Right.
was to directly bring the skills to the young men and women. And the way we did that, or we're going to do that, is through volunteers who are chefs out here in the States, in Kenya, who are professionals, and they give their time, and we put together a 10-day program where we do just a basic cooking class for 10 days, and then we incorporate those people, those young men and women who have completed the course. They end up joining our partners who are, right now we have 2 hotels and 1 restaurant.
So wait a second, let me just get this straight.
Yes.
You find these young people, they're
Yes.
motivated.
Yes.
You spend 10 days with them building their skills in culinary arts and culinary skills. You also give them something, and that's a very important piece that we're going to come back
Yes.
to for 1 second. But I want to talk about your partnerships, because that's sort of the key, right? Is you
Yes.
walk them in to this hotel or a restaurant and say, I endorse this person. This person has just been educated in my program, and you know me and you know my program. And then you support them for a while they kind of try out different places in that.
Yes, so we give a time limit of 3 months. It's almost like an internship. But in this case, it's mostly doing all kinds of work in the hotel. We make sure that they're actually getting meaningful skills. And 3 months later, we evaluate who's employable. Sometimes we have had people who just stopped coming.
Yeah.
So there's setbacks, but
Yeah.
also we've had successes where people stayed, those 3 months and got a job, and some end up even working for themselves.
Wow.
So, you asking about what do we give them?
Oh, yes, all right.
Yeah. So we've been lucky. We've had donors who give us chef bags, and a chef bag has everything you'd need as a chef.
A chef bag, so
Yeah.
it has knives. What else?
Everything. It has
like graters.
Knives, graters, potato peelers, thermometers, butcher knives.
Okay. So it's not a little bag; it's a big bag.
It's actually a backpack.
Backpack.
Yeah, it's a backpack.
Jammed with tools.
Jammed with tools, and it's
Measuring cups.
Measuring cups. You can add on, but it has a standard it comes with, and that enables the students to have something of value and something which is literally a tool
Right.
that helps them. Some people end up working in different private homes, and all they do is show up with their bag.
They show up with their bag and they're ready to go to work.
And go to
Yeah.
work. So.
Tony was telling me that chefs are notoriously possessive of their tools. So if someone came in to a big kitchen and had nothing of their own, that could lead to some stress and strain. So
Yes,
this is a
some
beautiful
tension.
thing. You have donors that give you these bags,
Yes.
fully stocked.
Yes.
And do you give them to the students like on day one?
No, we give them. It's almost like a graduation.
Like a graduation present, yeah.
Present, and it's it's very practical because you literally can use it everywhere.
Yeah.
Not only at work, at home.
Yeah.
I travel with my bag everywhere I go, it's something that becomes part of you.
Yeah.
And it makes the work easier.
A knife sharpener, all kinds of
Everything,
things. But
everything.
how do you take it on an airplane?
You have to
You have to check it.
You have to
Okay,
check
right.
it in.
Me and my butcher knife, we're gonna sit in. Yeah.
I've been
right.
I've been pulled aside and they ask me,
What is up with this?
who are you going to fight?
Oh,
And I'm like, nah, I'm just a chef.
I'm a chef.
So-
I'm a chef.
Which always, gets good feedback.
Yeah.
When you tell people you're a chef, they're like, oh, can you cook for me something?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but
absolutely.
absolutely. You can't check in. You can't carry on.
You can't carry on your chef bag.
No.
Okay. That.
Yeah. So.
So this is Meet the Problem Solvers. Tony Njigua is here speaking with us about Foodies Without Borders, which is just the coolest name. I mean, really,
thank
that's
you.
just a cool name.
Thank you.
And this is an organization that Tony saw a problem and he created really a model that was a solution. And it's important to note that it's early days for you. you're building this nonprofit, you are incorporated, but your model is rolling out and you're learning and stuff like that. So understanding you don't have a vast number of people that you can say, and this is exactly what we've done and exactly how it works, but nonetheless, you have a model.
Yes.
So why don't you talk us through that model a little bit?
Yeah, so the way we, our nonprofit is mainly, right now it's being driven by volunteers. Mm-hmm. So we happen to have good friends, people who are interested in what we're doing, people who are putting in their time, some money as well. And the way we do it is simply, as I said earlier, is we try and find, we try and go to Kenya during the low season when some hotels are closed because there's no tourists. So we try to take advantage of those hotels that don't have, which are closed to the public but can be open to us.
Oh, really? So you open up a kitchen?
Yeah, so those are one of our partners.
Oh, that's great.
And,
I was going to ask where you do these classes. Now I know.
So so we do the classes in with depending on the partners, but it's hard to retain the partners because things change all the time. Some hotels, they completely close. Some change ownership.
I was going to say someone may change ownership and forget that.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
So eventually, actually, we have property in the coastal area that we want to build our own demo farm and demo kitchen and have students come through. But for now, we do the 10-day pop-up cooking school and give the basic skills, prep, knife skills, food prep, even business math, and then we already have, talked to our partners, and just before we come back to the States, we introduce the partners to the students, and within a week they start attending the scheduled internship, if you will, and after 3 months we keep tabs with what's going on, and we provide the student with a stipend, for transportation, sometimes food,
Wow.
You don't want anybody going hungry.
Yeah,
even though they're
working with
hotel.
food all day and they're hungry themselves or their families. That's
And
that's
sometimes,
something.
sometimes depending on, their personal problems that we can help, we do help. Not just with money, but also, just listening to them and trying to solve, these problems together.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, I usually go to Kenya twice. So I go back again and we do an evaluation.
And do you do the evaluation with the so the partner is the hotel or the restaurant,
Yes.
the beneficiary is the student,
Yeah, the
younger person,
Yes.
the person that is
the beneficiary.
that is learning the skills,
Yes.
that is becoming more job ready.
Yes.
So how do you do the evaluation?
So the evaluation is a point system.
A point system,
Yes,
okay.
that from attendance to skill level. And also just things that might not seem big, but cleanliness, and ability to follow instructions, and that feedback comes from the partners themselves, and we sit down and we discuss, all three parties, me, the partner, and the beneficiary,
The student, yeah.
the student. Some students, they get really interested with this new these new skills they just acquired, that they are able to convince investors, for small amounts of money, and they start their own little eateries by the beach or by the market.
Have you've really had students come
Yes.
through, learn
Yes.
from you,
And
go into
go
this
to this-
internship,
Yes.
and then say, actually, I want to work for myself, and they do their own little thing? Wow.
Yes, and then, we have two guys who've gone through that route, but most of them want to have a more security.
Yeah.
By being employed,
Work in this big institution.
Yeah, having a salary.
Yeah.
But there's some people who are willing to take the business risk and, and go into business.
Right.
And then from there, we encourage the students who have made it to become like supporters, peer, to be peers for other students who are coming up. So they more like role models.
Role models, sort of mentors, answering questions,
yes.
talking them through something weird happened with my boss. What should I do about it?
Yes.
Wow.
And we are branching a little bit, whereby some of those who have started the business, we working with them, whereby they can have others, a potential, cooks, chefs, follow them or shadow them while they do their work.
Yeah.
And learn from just observing and actually experience.
You must really get great skills when you're doing everything in a little eatery, but you're doing everything as opposed to just doing one task.
Yes, and that's why there's so much potential.
Yeah.
To bring in more people and expand, organically.
Yeah.
All they need is skills and structure, and also in some cases capital.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, we are working with a lot of micro lenders.
Right. So we talked about that a little bit before this. So a lot of African nations are sort of allowing or fostering micro lending.
Yes, it's a good model. It has some, it's been criticized sometimes, but we are working with people who have a proven record.
Can you just explain a little bit to folks who may have heard the term micro-lending, but what it actually means?
So the way micro-lending works is they, it's usually small loans for a small business.
Could be really small loans,
it could be
like
very small
$300.
Yeah, sometimes even $50.
$50, okay.
Yes. And the way it works is supposed to, basically the people who are given the opportunity to get the loan are usually people who already have a little business going on. So the money is, afforded to them to expand.
To expand, right.
With the notion that they'll pay it back.
Yep.
And they've said that, the data shows that most people do actually pay it back.
Yep.
So we wanted not only just work with the micro lender, but also be hands-on together. With the business, So when the youth, start their own business, we are actually there with them.
Wow.
And in some cases, we invest and become.
You become one of their investors.
One of the
wow.
investors,
Wow.
or partners, And we found that's, that worked better, rather than just give somebody the money and just let them do their thing. Some people,
because you stay more involved and you're more like, report back to me and let's problem solve together. Is that what it is?
Exactly.
That's great.
And also, you're the one who kind of ushered them in this industry in the first place.
Right.
So you probably have a little more to teach them.
Right.
But also you learn from them as well.
And you have connections. So you're sort of making things happen in all directions, helping them build their skills, helping build connections, but also, they have to follow through.
And also, we realize that in some cases when it comes to food, there's great success stories from fishermen who their peers, partnering with. Their peers again who have come through our program. So basically, instead of just being the middleman, or the person who supplies the fish to the hotels, they can directly start cooking their own.
Oh wow!
And actually, create a profitable business.
Okay, interesting.
And have some sort of financial freedom and consistency. So, and that solves a lot of problems of, many idle people
Yeah.
around, around the beach, reduces petty crime,
Yep.
and we hope that, you know, government entities and, larger nonprofits and people of goodwill can join us.
Yeah.
And maybe expand it, but definitely we are looking at building the school.
Building the school, building the pipeline.
Building the
Yeah.
pipeline,
But
and-
so now we do have to talk. You've said a couple times something about profitable.
Yes.
Let's talk about your business model, because really the takeaway here
Yes.
is you're doing this, you're essentially volunteering, but it's costly to
It is
go back
costly.
and forth and you bring in chefs.
Yes.
So there are real costs involved, but you created a nonprofit.
Yes.
You're incorporated in Massachusetts.
Yes.
And so one of the things that you do is you raise money in
Yes.
various ways.
So we raise money here in Massachusetts by doing pop-up dinners,
Pop-up dinners, yeah.
and we bring speakers, to speak, during the pop-ups. It could be different topics. For example, we're having one pop-up coming up.
Aha.
And
Let's see. Wait, hold on, everybody. I'm going to do this.
yes, this
Here
is
we
it.
go. Chef Kabui, pop-up dinner and talk.
Yes, and Chef Kabui is a business partner and a mentor, and
And you said he's just a wonderful speaker, too.
he's a wonderful speaker. So please, if anybody is interested in food and topics about food justice, and he's a food strategist as well.
Food strategist. I love it.
Yes, so
And so there's dinner involved, too?
dinner involved.
Is he cooking during the dinner, or it's cooked beforehand? Or it's
we're cooking beforehand, and it's a Kenyan dinner, authentic,
nice.
and it's gonna be at 500 Kendall Street in Cambridge.
Okay, wait. I took that away too
okay.
fast. 500 Kendall
I say it's Kendall Square, but it's Kendall Street.
Kendall Street.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Cambridge. And it's on Saturday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay, so it's on Saturday, February 8th. You probably can't see it, but if you want to RSVP or learn more about Tony and his vision and his organization, or you want to know about this event, go to foodieswithoutborders.org.
Yes, and we are on Facebook as well.
They're on Facebook as well.
And Instagram.
And we're on Facebook as well, too. So let's do this. Let's just wait a second now. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to go to the next slide. There we go.
Okay.
There's our slide. There's the Meet the Problem Solvers slide. So this is how, I got to tell you, the way we meet cool people like Tony and Njigua is somebody says, hey, you guys got to hear about these people, Foodies Without Borders. They're doing some cool stuff. So please visit our website, meettheproblemsolvers.com, where we have all of our previous episodes are there for listening and talking. And send us an email with your ideas for people like Tony or like whomever that comes to mind, somebody who's seen a problem and facing it. And you can like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. You can find us all of those places.
Cool.
Yeah, so cool. So
Yes, I was gonna say, you asked about the, the model itself and the expenses.
yeah,
So we've had people donate, people, give. One thing that we do too as well, we collect kitchenwares from people around Massachusetts. So we've had amazing kitchenwares that most people have stuff that they don't use
Right.
at home, but brand new, fairly used.
yeah,
So we take that stuff and we ship it to Kenya, and we distribute it to students, and in some cases we also, the high-end stuff we sell it for profit.
Yeah.
To which we redirect the money again to the project. So so definitely with our students, we have no lack of kitchenwares.
right.
We
So
have-
you've donated and
Yeah, we are constantly getting donations. Sometimes we have to take a break, a pause, just because it's a lot here, and it's needed. Back in in Kenya, especially our beneficiaries, because that helps with when it comes to capital, we don't have to actually spend our money.
Yeah.
We already have the donated equipment,
Yeah.
and kitchenwares. And then people volunteer their time. A lot of people want to see Africa. So we put the way we set up the program, there's a lot of downtime to actually visit the country. So they volunteer, but they also get to
visit and see the sights.
Yeah, it's a fun time, but also it's we do work as well. Yeah, and then as I said, the pop-ups, we put the food together. Some of the foodies, we get companies donating the food for us, and so that reduces.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so that reduces our
the
cost.
raw materials.
The ingredients.
The ingredients. There you go. That would be what you would call them.
Yes, and also the space is provided as well.
Nice.
Most of the time, it's donated.
Wow. So if you want to get involved, if you think this guy's vision of turning the lives of young people in Kenya in a new direction, you want to get involved, get in touch with him at foodieswithoutborders.org. You can donate kitchenware if he's ready to take any. If he has too much, he'll say no. You can donate funds. Yes. You can come to his pop-ups. Occasionally they have these cool pop-up dinners.
Yes.
And you can figure out how this is going to make sense for you to really help people on a new pathway forward. Tony, thank you so much for coming in. This was a really interesting conversation.